Hi, welcome. I'm Nira Berry, life and happiness coach, and your host of Happy and Healthy, where we explore and discover all the many ways of keeping you feeling happy and healthy. And I love to explore different health modalities, and I came across this one, and I thought you'd be really interested in it, and it's called salt therapy. And so I want you to welcome my guest today, Janine Narayadu. She is a expert in halotherapy, right? It's just salt therapy,
Right.
and you're the owner of the Bethesda Salt Cave.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh.
So Nira, yes, my business is about salt therapy, halotherapy to be exact.
Okay.
And salt therapy is really about inhaling salt and treating the body with salt for all sorts of different ailments and really the symptoms of illnesses. We're not here to prescribe anything. We're here just to promote something that's holistic, so to speak. And
yeah, I want to hear more about that. So let's just start with what is a salt cave?
Sure.
Yeah.
So a salt cave is basically where we've covered the walls and the floor and the ceiling with salt, but the magic doesn't happen there. That's aesthetically very pleasing, and it does promote, when we're relaxed in a space, that is very relaxing, and that helps us to heal better and quicker. But the salt therapy is actually about putting salt in the air. It's about crushing the salt so fine that it gets emitted into the air between 0.4 and 0.5 microions. And we use medical grade salt. The magic really happens in the halo generator. That is the machine that actually crushes the salt really fine for us to inhale. And it's so fine that actually when it lands on the pores of your skin, the skin can absorb the nutrients. And that salt helps to disinfect, kills bacteria and viruses. So when we're exposed to flu bugs or any type of bug or virus, salt kills all of those things. You go to the beach with a cut and you come back and it's already healing, right?
Yeah.
So we've really taken the salt and tried to recreate what you get at the ocean, but in a medical setting where you're inhaling the salt and the salt coats the skin. And that's really what salt therapy is.
And so the salt cave that you have, for instance, is like a whole room where it's covered, the inside
Correct.
is covered with actual salt rock, right?
Right,
Like from the
so
ceilings to the walls, the floor.
So the salt crystals that we have on our floor are the same you get in your grinder that you use. So we've coated the whole floor with that salt crystal, 7 tons of it to be exact.
Wow.
And on
Did you even get it in there?
with great difficulty. And then on the walls we have 32 tons of salt rock that's been dry stacked.
That's amazing.
The whole thing about a salt cave is you don't want anything unnatural in the salt cave. So people come in there with all sorts of allergies and all sorts of reactions. So we want to make sure what we're building with is pure grade. So all of our salt comes actually from the Himalayan mountains. It's from a town in Pakistan on the northern mountain region. And the villagers in this town actually mine the salt rock. It's hand mined because you're not allowed to use dynamite in the Himalayas to blast with. So all of the salt that comes back to our cave that we're putting on the walls have passed through many, many hands. People have chipped it and cut it, and when we put it in, it's got all that beautiful negative ionic charge that comes from the earth.
Well, first of all, what is special about the Himalayan salt, like as opposed to salt from other places?
Well, there are many places where salt comes from where it's really natural and amazing.
Yeah.
But Himalayan salt is actually laced with 84 different minerals and trace elements. Why Himalayan salt?
Yeah, because
We
I
have to
noticed
go
that
back
it's
sort of
pink.
250 million years ago when the earth was created.
Because I see that it's pink, right?
It's all pink. And actually Himalayan salt isn't all pink. It has different colors.
Oh, okay.
So it varies on which element or which mineral is more present in that rock strata. It can go from black all the way through to white.
Oh.
And it goes red and pink. The higher the iron content, the redder and blacker it is, the higher the phosphor content is, the deeper the black in the actual salt rock. And this was created by the earth, it's natural. It was created 250 million years ago in a very fertile region. where microorganisms and minerals that came up through volcanic activity and the steam from the volcano all was compressed into these salt ribbons in the mountainside. And over time that fossilized. So today when we think about it, when we eat salt that we get that's just normal table salt has things like caking agents in it to make sure that it doesn't stick together. And it's totally pure. It's been washed of any impurities that's in it. Himalayan salt has a lot of minerals. It has clays from all these fertile valleys. So when you see it on the walls in the salt cave, it's pink. It's got different colors that go through it like ribbons, right? And of course, the body needs all 84 minerals that's in Himalayan salt.
Yeah, what makes the Himalayan salt so unique as opposed, is
the
it not found anywhere else in the world?
So you do get pink salt in other parts of the world. You'll get it in Bolivia and you do get it in Poland. As a matter of fact, there's a beautiful salt mine in Wieliczka, Poland, which has a cathedral that has been carved out of the entire mountain, a couple of thousand feet below the surface. You actually take an elevator to go down, and it's cobbled stones. Everything is salt. So it's so beautiful. What makes this so amazing is that the salt rock, first of all, has all of these different minerals in it. And then, of course, this negative ionic charge that helps us, it helps to clear the air. So when we use a salt lamp or salt in our environment where we heat it up, it actually attracts dirt and allows it to fall on the floor so we can get rid of it. So the salt cave, what we've done now is created this environment with all the salt that we've heated up. Although the salt cave itself is a cool environment because we don't want to have a sauna-like environment, it's about 70 degrees, the heat on the salt actually cleans the air. So you're walking into the space where the salty air is so much cleaner, so when you're breathing it in, it's a relief from coming outside where there are so many allergens in the air.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why we've created it, right? So the salt cave itself is huge. I mean, we've created a 500 square foot salt cave. Usually it can be a salt room. This is not something, people can create salt spaces in their own homes. They don't have to specifically go to a salt cave.
So how could they do that? Can you give us some tips?
Yeah, absolutely. The most important thing is that the space that they're in is not cluttered with all sorts of things that can provide allergens, plants, etc. We want to take anything that's going to put something into the environment. The salt lamps, when we put salt lamps in there, but also halo generators are now made very, very small. You can buy little ones that they can put in the room, and what it does is it grinds the salt very, very fine. It puts it out into the environment so that they can breathe that salt in.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. So people
called
can
a halo generator?
It's called a halo generator. And there are a number of companies throughout the US that do this type of contraption, and they're all pretty safe. Basically, they're crushing salt, and it's not table salt, so it's medical grade salt that they're putting into the environment.
So when it's been purified? Is that what makes it medical grade salt?
We don't want people to inhale clays. Or any foreign matter or heavy metals or anything like that. So the salt that we're going to put in is what doctors would recommend that they use when they wash out a wound, or to rinse their sinuses with when they have severe allergies or asthma, or, you know, a lot of us get very stuffy, right? So the doctor says take salt water and rinse it out.
Yeah.
But
or if your tonsils get sore, they tell you to gargle with salt water.
But here's the thing, right? When our mucous membranes are creating a lot of fluid, we're rinsing it with salt water, which really is very, very healing, but then it doesn't really dry it out.
Yeah.
So the halotherapy, the salt therapy, is this dry salt air that you actually put in, and that actually dries out. So when our lungs are inhaling dry salt, think about going to the beach. You go to the beach, you're inhaling dry salt air, because we're really creating the beach air environment, right?
Yeah, which I love.
It opens up the lungs. Your throat gets soothed, and the sinuses in the back of the mouth gets soothed as well.
I always feel so much. I feel so much better always when I'm at the beach.
Everything's opening up, and I mean, how many people go to the beach and come back with an allergic reaction to the beach? Not many.
No, maybe a sunburn, but that's about it.
But So the dry salt therapy really helps to soothe all the serous
Yeah.
membranes and mucous membranes.
Does it dry your skin because like little particles of salt are in the air? Does it dry your skin?
It's actually very, very soothing on the skin.
Yeah.
So a lot of clients, I have a client with her children. Her children have severe eczema and psoriasis. They actually come into the cave and play on the salt floor. And when they come in, the skin is red and really aggravated.
Yeah.
When they've been in the salt because they play with their buckets and their cups and stuff in the salt, and they leave, the redness has actually started going because the salt actually soothes.
In such a short period of time?
In such a short period of time.
Wow. What length of time are we talking about?
45 minutes.
Wow.
45
That's
minutes.
amazing.
I have clients who buy some of the salts, they're 25-pound bags. They make a sandbox at home. For kids who have
That's a great idea.
So it's very simple things like that where we can take the salt home and we can create, if you have children who are really allergic to all sorts of environmental things, they play in that sand and you'll be amazed. It clears up the runny noses, clears up the postnasal drip.
Wow.
And when children's systems can clear up postnasal drips and things dry out, it helps to boost the immune system.
So how long does it last? Like, let's say you said like after 45 minutes they really notice a difference even on the skin, but how long would that last?
Maybe 3 or 4 days.
Really, that long?
We do recommend that they continue with the salt though.
Yeah.
I mean,
so they can have like the salt
into the cave environment.
They can have the salt at home. They can have like a rock.
Yeah, they can put salt lamps in any of their rooms. There are so many places that sell these salt lamps.
Yeah.
Right. They don't have to come to our spa to buy one. They can get them all over the place. And we just want to make sure that what they get is the real thing, because very often it's not Himalayan salt that's in the lamps.
Oh, that's good to know.
So it's really important to know that if you have a salt lamp and it starts tearing when it's humid outside, it's a real salt lamp.
Oh,
because there's actually moisture in the salt, so the humidity draws it out.
And does it only work when you heat it up, like if you put a light in it?
Yeah.
So just being in a humid room or something?
No, it has to have a light in it, so you want to heat it up. Heating it up allows the salt molecule with the moisture molecule to kind of evaporate into the air, and that's really what traps dust and cleans the dust. And when you think about halotherapy and salt therapy, the size of a room determines the size of the salt lamp or how many salt lamps you put in it. So if we had a very, very large room, this size salt lamp wouldn't really be effective. We'd need something a little bigger.
Oh, well, that's really good to know. Well, so we're going to just take a short break. So thank you so much. And we'll be right back. We're going to continue talking about salt therapy. And so stay tuned.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
Hi, welcome back to Happy and Healthy. I'm Nira Berry, your host, and we're going to continue speaking with Janine from the Bethesda Salt Cave, and she's going to tell us more about salt therapy. So Janine, you were explaining about how what we could do at home, and that one of these salt lamps is a really good thing to have, but maybe if it's a really big room, like we need to have more?
So the larger the size, well, I think in a really large room you need maybe 3 or 4 of these, or
that
2
many.
smaller. So salt lamps come in very, very different sizes. They start at maybe a pound in size and they go up to 80 pounds.
Wow. And what size would you say this?
So this is about 4 pounds.
Oh, okay.
It looks small, but it's actually quite heavy because salt rock is really, really heavy, right? So we'd recommend for an average 500 square foot room, maybe sort of a 10 to 20 pound salt lamp. It's all about the circumference of how much space around the salt is exposed to the air.
Okay.
And when this is lit up and we heat it up, the heat from the salt lamp actually emits a salt particle, a mineral particle, and a water particle. That creates a little electric reaction called a negative ionic charge. And when it's negative, it's actually attracting dust.
Okay.
One of the things why we find salt so attractive and water so attractive is because the body is made up of salt and water, right?
Yeah.
So the negative ionic charge in when we go to the beach or when we go to the mountains is really what the body craves. It's that magnetic pull that gets us. So in our cave, the salt itself is also further complemented with a negative ionic charge that we actually put into the salt cave to increase that negative ionic charge. So when we're lying there, we have businessmen, for example, who come in during their lunch hour. Yeah. They've been exposed to white light the whole day. So you can imagine how tired their eyes are looking at documents in small print. They come into the cave, it's dimly lit. We have the negative ionic charge and the salt for them to inhale and relax, recharge the body within 45 minutes. It's almost like they've had a night's sleep. They get up, they're refreshed, they go back to the office. Or clients who come from the Hilton or the Marriott around us, they fly into town, they're extremely super jet lagged.
Yeah.
So for jet lag, for them to come into this environment, just chill, lean back. We've got zero gravity chairs. They lean back, they rest, they close their eyes. When they leave, they're ready to go to that conference or get back to business or go enjoy their holiday.
That's amazing. And is a typical session 45 minutes?
Mm-hmm. It's always 45. It's very interesting. People always say, oh, I want to stay longer, I want to stay longer. But 45 minutes is when the brain starts waking up. It's almost like it's had enough. It's recharged with that magnetic charge in the salt. People automatically wake up after 45 minutes. It's just built in. It just happens.
And you can relax even though there may or may not be other people in the room?
Yeah, so it is a large room. We fit up to 8 people. We can put 15 people if everybody knows each other, but we don't want them sitting on top of each other.
Yeah, and you don't want people yakking, right? You don't want people talking.
We discourage that. We're encouraging them to keep quiet and self-meditate and enjoy this music playing. But one of the things is, children are very interesting in the cave. We have autistic children come into our salt cave who suffer severely with asthma, bronchitis, or allergy from seasonal allergies. When autistic children come in, they don't know what a placebo effect is. They come in just because they're children. It's salt on the floor. It's like they're playing in sand.
Yeah.
And we've had cases where children with autism who have allergy shots daily, their usage of allergy shots have been reduced substantially. Because they're getting the salt therapy, it's boosting their immune system, it's killing the viruses and bacteria. And suddenly, without them actually even knowing it, they're getting the salty treatment, right, in an environment that they can enjoy. So for them, that's really, really great.
Have you noticed, has it helped them with their level of concentration, or has it helped them in other avenues?
It's so interesting because when they initially come in for their first session, it's very hard for them to sit still because there's so much to take their attention away. But within a couple of sessions, you notice that they come in and they settle much easier. And their parents tell us that they're settling into completing tasks much quicker and easier as well at home. After their salt session. We always, again, encourage that they take salt home, use it in their bath, so they use it to bathe with, and they put a cup or two of the Himalayan salt in their water at night, and it helps them to really sleep deeply as well.
Yeah, I know it's very healing. I've been a few times to the Dead Sea, and it's just
it's so amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. First of all, you're floating, but it's you just feel so healed by that.
Correct.
And I know people take some of the salt and use it in their bath in the future, so that's what it reminded me.
Yes, so we encourage that people use the salt as well to scrub their skin with, to slough off dead skin. And of course, you've got to, put nutrition back in, so use some body butter, or otherwise it will be too drying. But still, salt is such a healing miracle. I mean, we're very, very grateful that we could get so much salt to build these salt caves with, right? It's organic. It's totally a renewable resource. The mountains are full of the salt, so it's not like we're going to overuse it. And
I wanted to ask you, so you said like the different colors are because it has different amounts of iron in it, and it goes from white to pink to reddish to black.
Right.
And so is it is there like a healthier, like would it be more healthy to have like the black salt?
So black salt is very high in phosphor. So people have to be very careful because some people actually have a phosphor sensitivity.
Okay.
But black salt could be used. It really is amazing on fish.
Oh yeah,
So
I
when
have
we
heard of
cook
that.
with
Yeah.
fish, we use black salt on fish,
Yeah.
right? You get black salt from Hawaii. You get black salt
Yeah.
from Japan.
But
This
the
black
pink,
salt you want to use on fish.
But
It
the pink salt is
Yes.
like as far as healing modality.
Yes,
That's
so,
the best.
There are a couple of the pink salt and the white Himalayan salt as well. White Himalayan salt is known as halite.
Okay.
And halite is the purest form of salt. So when you look at it, do you see the crystal, how it's been created? It
Yeah.
actually has a natural sharp edge.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's quite clear. So it's almost like a diamond. These have
Yeah.
inclusions in the pink salt, and the white salt doesn't have any inclusions.
Oh,
so that's the
why-
purest form of salt, Himalayan salt that you can find.
So this should really be a diamond.
It's a salty diamond.
Yeah, it's a salty diamond. Yeah, that really is.
Right.
That's amazing. So I know, like in the actual salt cave, that you do like other healing modalities
Yes.
in there. So it's, if somebody wants to maybe do like a meditation or something, that you
Right.
can also offer
We
that.
encourage people from all walks of life to come in and enjoy the facility. We offer meditation. We offer energy clearing as well. We have a psychic medium who comes in. You know, all of these classes that we have in the Salt Cave is so much more powerful because of the negative ions and the salt in the air. So we have meditation, we have yoga, we do massage, reflexology, many things to keep them interested. And then, of course, for children, we have playtime.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And for businessmen, we don't allow children in the cave.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want to disconnect.
So is there something that people should know, like for instance, if people are taking certain medications, should they avoid the salt cave?
There aren't many contraindications to salt therapy. Obviously, we always recommend that people discuss with their medical team or their doctor if they have any questions.
Yeah.
We do not encourage clients who are currently going through chemotherapy to come into the salt cave. The salt cave is there to boost the immune system. Chemotherapy reduces the immune system, and so without going into all of that, so we usually say finish up with chemotherapy and then we can do salt therapy. But salt therapy is great for newborns up until end of life. So for the elderly, it's really amazing. To help them boost their immune system so that they can fight colds and superbugs much easier.
Oh, yeah, and also with their lungs and
Right.
if there's
So for clients who have COPD, we don't have a cure for COPD, but it does help to soothe and dry things up so that they can breathe better. Fibromyalgia, MS, salt therapy really helps to soothe any symptoms that they have.
Does it help reduce inflammation?
It definitely does. We've got a couple of ophthalmologists and optometrists who send patients to us with glaucoma.
Oh, really?
So clients call us all the time and say, hey, I have high blood pressure. Can I come to the salt cave? Is it going to put my blood pressure through the roof? So
Yeah.
no, because we're not telling them to drink it. They're not consuming it.
Yeah.
It's being absorbed subdermally. So it's coming
So
through
they're
the dermis
and
they're
they're inhaling it. So
and it's drying
yeah.
things out.
So they're not actually, it's not going
No.
through their digestive
And what's
system.
great for
Yeah.
for high blood pressure, having a healthy diet, and of course, we think salt therapy is great because it's going to get them into a peaceful environment
Yeah.
where they can relax, and that also brings down blood pressure.
So any other benefits? You've mentioned for several
Right.
different things. Anything else we should know?
Insomnia is great. So for people who can't sleep, clients come into our cave, and sometimes they say like, "Oh, well, that wasn't what I expected," because they can't see the salt.
Yeah.
Right.
They can't see it actually
'Cause
working.
It's so fine. But they go home and they have a great night's rest, especially
Yeah.
if they're suffering with insomnia, so they come back for that.
And it seems like in our area, there's a lot of people who are overworked and overstressed, and
Right. And
that's
so
really something that they could benefit from, I
So
bet.
salt therapy is amazing for people suffering with PTSD, stress management. For stress management, it's really important to get us out of stressful situations into an environment where we can relax and absorb the salt and recover. When we
Yeah.
recover, we can go back feeling better.
Yeah, and stronger and with a
And
clearer
stronger.
mind and be more
Absolutely.
productive and energetic and be able to
Right.
live our lives, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So if people wanted to find out more and to reach you, can you give us your website?
Sure. They can go to BethesdaSaltCave.com.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
And there's a lot more information. We're updating it constantly with more information.
Yeah, and I know you've got a lot of different things that you offer,
Yeah,
classes and products
absolutely.
and all different
But
things.
there's always
so-
something happening, so just check out the website.
Yeah.
It's all
Okay,
there.
that's wonderful. And maybe could you tell us, like, when was the first time that you actually experienced a salt cave or salt therapy?
So I first experienced salt therapy about 6 years ago when I had pneumonia.
Oh.
And it took two sessions for me to feel where I had lost my voice. I couldn't speak from coughing. My eyes were constantly tearing. It was just so bad. I was in a bad
Yeah.
place. And Western medicine was taking too long for me.
So you went and you did some salt therapy?
I did some salt therapy in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I was blown away. I said there should be
Wow.
one on every street corner. Came back, there wasn't any, and I was.
See, that's why you're so passionate about it. I love it. I love it. You know, I love when, you feel so passionate about something and you really
Right.
want to help other people experience the same, healing and relief. So that's wonderful. So
Thank you.
I thank you so much, Janine. It was a pleasure meeting you and learning all about salt therapy. So you've been watching Happy and Healthy. I'm Nira Berry, your host. And stay tuned to our next segment of Good to Know, where I've always got something good to share with you. So stay tuned.
I am a veteran, and my victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
I am a veteran. My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
My victory was finishing my education.
Mine is proving a disability is not a limitation.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory is having my new battle buddy.
As veterans face their challenges, DAV is there to help for victories great and small.
I'm a veteran, and my victory is getting the help I needed to put my life back together.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support.
I am a veteran. My victory is being there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hi, I'm Nira Berry, Life and Happiness Coach, and now it's time for What's Good to Know. And what's good to know is all about how breathing can affect your happiness. Did you know that if you breathe properly and deeply, that it can actually help relax you and be able to concentrate better? I mean, it's something that we do naturally. But, what's the first thing that somebody does, like when you're on the verge of a meltdown? I mean, right? What do they say? The first thing they say is take a deep breath. That's right. And when you're in the middle of a crisis, what's the last thing you want to do is to take a deep breath. So why do it? Why take a deep breath? So when you're breathing deeply, like from your abdomen, it really brings awareness about your worries, and it really quiets your mind and combats stress. And it activates all these wonderful things in your body to help you relax and really reduce your stress. And really to be present and to think clearly so you can concentrate better. And you're really taking control of many, many physiological effects that lead to your happiness. And it all begins with one breath at a time, because it's your body's natural relaxation response. So all you have to do is take a deep belly breath and try to get all the way down to your lower abdominal muscles, and then you'll see that that's where you'll start to feel the relaxation and you'll start to feel happy. So just try it. Just take a deep, deep, deep breath and maybe follow it by a few more, and you'll see how much more relaxed you are. So let me know what happens when you try it, and if you want any more information, you can feel free to contact me, Nira Berry, the Life and Happiness Coach. You can contact me at info@niraberry.com. You've been watching Happy and Healthy, and I hope you have a happy day.